It's August. Welcome to August. This month, I want to theme the month about support. Like a good brassiere on the bosoms of your ADHD. Like, how is your support? How big are your ADHDs? Okay. We can't start like that. I clearly need support. So, it's ADHD and support. Let the month begin. You are listening to ADHD Big Brother, the podcast for adults struggling with their ADHD, their comorbid depression, their anxiety. Oh, it's just a hoot. I'm your host and your ADHD Big Brother, Russ Jones. I've got ADHD too. I've got depression as well. It's crap-tastic. So let's learn some stuff. Let's laugh at some stuff. Let's make some commitments to do some stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, here's some stuff. Okay, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. My name's Russ. I'll be your ADHD Big Brother today. Come on in. I compared ADHD to boobs in the intro. I did that. I'm a child. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. What can I say? I like the lost boys of Neverland who never grew up. I believe that's how the story goes. I don't want to get older. Anyways, apologies about the boob stuff. I apologize. There you go. Here we are. One more apology for the apology jar. What happens when I fill it up? Great question. I buy myself a cookie because I accomplished a thing. I filled a jar. Good for me. Maybe I rattled a cage. Maybe I learned a lesson. I apologize for an immature comment. I'm growing. I get a cookie. Okay, that's good for the shenanigans. Let's just check off box. Make sure I intro with some shenanigans. Done that. Okay, well, let's kick it off now with a mental health report. All right, we're normalizing, talking about our school spaghetti, the good, the bad, the weird. You know, we're not always fine. So if we talk about this shit, then it helps us put words to it. And we can name it. We can tame it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. I've not officially tamed anything on my end. My inner stable is filled with magnificent wild beasts that will not be tamed. But I don't know, with time, perhaps I ride them one day. Last week I had a crazy depressive situation. I cobbled together a quote unquote depression protocol. You could read about that. I wrote a Substack article on it. You can listen to it. I talked about it on last week's podcast. You can join the community. That's where I actively work on my shit amongst my fellow members, and I'll tell you all about it there. So I did the protocol as a practice, have run it a couple of times. I want to practice it at least 10 times this month. And, that way when I get into the game, right, when it's a ball game, then I know how to shoot my foul throws. You know what I'm saying? Which brings me to you. Do you have a protocol for something? I'm super curious about this kind of stuff. Do you have a protocol for when you're feeling anxious or depressed, or if you have an RSD moment and freak out? Do you have something that you turn to that works for you? Reach out. Let me know. I'm interested. And that's my mental health report. I'm good today. I'm going to an event that my kids are throwing later. They filmed a short film, and I cannot wait to watch it. They've been super tight-lipped about it. So that's later on today. So the anticipation of that is such a mood boost. I'm very excited about it. All right, so let's talk about support. Let's set the stage for the month. We have some experts coming in to define how they support folks like us, and I'm super stoked about that. Should be a good month. And I thought, to kick it off, I'll share a bit about my views on support, what it looks like over the years. I'm 50 now. I've done a few things. I really want to reflect on my views of it all back then, back when I was utilizing those services, and then I would compare to what I've learned and how I view it now. For reference, I was officially diagnosed with ADHD, depressive disorder, around age 40. So I've had 10 years to learn and grow and create some solid support systems, some of which I'll talk about. But if we go back from age 20 to 40, I was jumping from various modalities of therapy, holistic and otherwise, constantly seeking ways to improve myself, like spiritually, personally, careerally. And I also consider education to be a form of support. An example, the way I view it is in my early 20s, I enrolled in an intensive acting program in Los Angeles to support my acting career at the time. And then the various relationships I formed to help support a successful career for a little over a decade, I guess it was. When it came to my inner world, though, I did not have an understanding of why I felt so incredibly rejected sometimes. It consumed me. I feared it. I behaved as a people pleaser to try to mitigate it. And very odd for an actor, which is, an entire component of even the most successful actors is constant rejection. Like George Clooney didn't get all the parts he, wanted. So somehow I was able to understand sooner rather than later that in the audition land, once you leave the audition, you move on. But in my personal life, holy shit, I would stew and stew. I'd self-loathe. I'd self-medicate. And the support that I got for that, besides drugs and alcohol, was EMDR. I would do talk therapy. And that's also when I got introduced to various meditations that would take me, to my present day. And I'll say that meditation really helped me. It's really hard to understand it in the moment. I'll have to share my journey through the various meditations over the years at some point, but I know a common joke for ADHD is that we can't sit still, right? We can't focus. So meditation doesn't work for us. What kind of an asshole would even think to suggest it? I lovingly disagree. My opinion, the whole point of meditation is to suck at it. It's literally the greatest practice of the art form of self-awareness and the practice of guiding your attention non-judgmentally, right? Over and over and over and over again. So the more you suck at it, the more reps you're putting in. I could go off a little bit. So I'll stop the ramble there before it gets out of control. But if you ever want to talk about it, hit me up. And then in my 40s, as divorce was approaching in the marriage, we attempted support through couples counseling. Post-divorce was when I was diagnosed with ADHD and depression. And so I sought support then at that point through medicine, through coaching, through therapy. I hit it hard. My medicine journey sucked. It worked. I mean, it made me hopeful. And then it side affected the shit out of me. I think that's a well-documented story. I talk about that a bunch, I'm sure. But I'm pro-medicine. I don't take it. So that's the long story short of it. Pro-medicine, suck at it. I tried coaching, but early in my ADHD days, I was very similar to many ADHDers, thinking that coaching would somehow automatically fix things or cure me. It's like the idea that you would get a mindset shift and then your ADHD goes away, right? Because now I can view things like a normie and do them. So yeah, obviously I was full of shit. I was your typical appointment amnesia person. I would have a session, ideas made sense. Yeah, I'm going to try that. And then I'd forget them during the week. My personal experience with coaches was initially negative. It's very interesting, says the ADHD coach, which sucks because it's so helpful. It can expedite the learning. It can be very supportive. It can rejuicify us, and it can support us. It definitely informed my approach on how I do it now and how I don't do it now. And then I think the biggest one of all, you guys probably all know this, that I'm a huge nerd for community as support in life, but most certainly for ADHD. And I initially learned the value of community through a nicotine quit group. I found the real power in people who are going through something similar or experience the world similar, because when those people are together, they can really lift each other up. They get each other, they speak the same language, they have similar life experiences. And so I quit nicotine. A 20-year addiction to nicotine. Holy balls. Did it. High five to me on that one. I also learned the importance of seeking support when I need it. Post-divorce, I had another awful breakup, and I was convinced that I would be sad and alone for the rest of my life. You could not convince me otherwise. And I had the most hilarious why that it ultimately led me to hiring a fitness trainer. I had never really had a great workout regimen, and I would have never spent money on something like that. But at the time, my why was that if I was destined to be alone and miserable for the rest of my life, which is what I thought was my sentence. That's the place that I was coming from was so sad. I thought that if this is going to be who I am for the rest of my life, then I want to look good and feel good doing it. It was a really interesting way. It's like a classic, do this for yourself, Russell. This is your self-care, buddy. It's time to start thinking about yourself. But it came out as, I'm going to accept my misery with six-pack abs. I almost got the six-pack abs, by the way. I had the top two. The bottom four, those were in sight, but oh my God, until I realized that you have to be a certain type of person to have the bottom four, to have the full six-pack. Holy shit, it's that not for me. No big deal. It's just like that attention to my diet is too much. But hindsight, the only way that I could do this was through support and through the support of a trainer. And he was very ADHD friendly without even being, like an ADHD fitness trainer. His methods were super ADHD friendly. Another way that we get support and that I've built support up is through my friends and my family. There's a natural level of support that comes from friends and family, I think. Sometimes we all have a little bit of dis in the function of our family and friends, but I'm fortunate that mine's mostly function, not as much dysfunction. And through the awful depression that really rattled my COVID time, that really sunk me the most. I developed my core four. This is my fail-safe depression crew of 4 specific people who I can call anytime, day or night. It's known whenever I need help if I'm going through a crushing depressive episode. And that's the ultimate support. It's almost the obligation. If things are really, really bad, I'm obligated to call them, which is highly recommend a core 4. It's great. Or a core 5 or a core 3. Or do you have a core 1? Something core. And my most recent and favorite support system is the one that that you guys, I won't shut up about. It's the one that we've been building at ADHD Big Brother. And I started it something like 3 to 4 years ago. And it's really the culmination of everything that has ever helped me, right? It's like the accountability that I wished I had to make sure that I did the homework of my therapy and my ADHD coaching. It's the camaraderie of my fellow ADHDer, similar to how the nicotine quit group, because we get each other. We know the struggle to get started, and we have that common language to talk about it without the shame or the guilt that, that comes from talking about this stuff sometimes with the normies of our lives. It's got the education component through, we do really cool expert workshops. Speaking of, side note, Caroline Whalen is coming to give us another writing workshop, and Tina Schneider is super smart, and she's going to give us a workshop at the end of the month. So stay tuned to hear about that. Super cool. Anyway, so the education is a great way of support for us, and we do that with the replay library and the video resources and stuff. I'm very good, I'd say, at building what I wished I had. I feel very compelled to do that kind of stuff. That's kind of my inner light type situation, not to get too wooey about it, but I suffered. And if you're like me, I don't want you to suffer. So here's what I figured out, and I'll share it. It's this whole concept of being a big brother. To me, that's what a big brother does. And so we have ADHD Big Brother, right? And we are ADHD big brothers and sisters to each other. And that's magical to me. Oh man. And we haven't even touched upon the ways that we support ourselves. Do you ever check in with yourself on how you're supporting yourself? Environment, for example, that's a good one. Does our environment support us, or does it hinder us with its disorganization and it's the chaoticness of it all? God, we could get really nuts and bolts in here on this one. It'd be our calendaring system or our planning system. Are we using systems to support ourselves? Or are we trying to force feed a normie system because it should work, but it never does? Are we supporting ourselves with good sleep? I know it's boring to talk about, but I've yet to meet a person who's gotten 3 hours of sleep at night because they couldn't put down a video game but they woke up refreshed and ready to start the day. I don't think that's real. Are we supporting ourselves with our nutrition? I know I'm not. full disclosure, this is my tough one, but I'm really leaning on the challenges that we're building in the community, and I'm actively supporting myself to try to build those healthy habits. But man, not going to say it's not sloggy. It's a slog-tastic journey. But this is how support looks, right? It's like, well, what about a nutrition coach? They've got ADHD nutrition coaches out there. That's where this stuff comes in. I'd go after that in a heartbeat, but I've got the community. The community works as a team, and I think that I like that setup better at the moment. But I'm getting more and more comfortable having my quote-unquote failure public-facing. It takes a lot of, stress, pressure, unmaskifies. It really normalizes this process, makes the shitty feelings less debilitating. It pulls the self-loathing out of it for me, and it keeps me rolling down the hills towards my goals. No shame, right? Shame is not welcome here. Shame can go suck it. Sorry, shame. But that's enough about me. I gave you a load about myself. How about you? How do you get support? Are you doing the therapies? What do you like? Do you like CBT? Do you like DBT, ACT, EMDR? What's your acronym? What's the acronym that's getting your shit together? Are you working with a coach? Are you a member of a community? How are you doing this? How are you supporting yourself? Reach out and let me know. And guess what I'll do? I will reach back out to you and high five your support, and I'll support you in your support. Support rules. So let's keep the conversations going about it this month. Alrighty, guys. I hope you're getting value out of this podcast. I'm really looking forward to this month. If you are getting value and you'd like to support me on my journey, because I don't run ads and I don't have a Patreon thingy. So I think the best way that you could support me on this journey is by sharing the podcast with the people that you think it would help. Put it out there. This is the free resource, which I hope helps. And then if you're looking for support, join our community. That is where we get the opportunity to support each other, which would be my ideal. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Now I'm excited to get this bad boy edited and up so I can go to my kids' short film premiere thingy. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, God. They make really funny, fun stuff. Okay. Now, with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I shall talk to you later.